Did you? Oh.
Hey everyone, so today in this video we are doing a video together, right? And what, do you know what video we're doing?
I forgot.
This was also requested, but I was also planning on doing this as well, so thank you so much if you requested this video. And yesterday I filmed the girls' room tour, but I have to edit that. But in this video we are going to do boys' names I liked, boys' names I liked but didn't use. And I have a list on my phone. And this is not a comprehensive list, but these are just names that I happen to put on my phone. So at the end, we will reveal the baby's actual name. And we're just gonna talk about the names that I kind of considered. It's not like absolutely considered, like, oh, I really love this. You know, well, they were names I liked enough to actually put on my phone. So let's put it that way. And I don't think I put all of the names down, but these are the names that I did put down. So when I was looking. So don't say his actual name. So in no particular order, the second one. We're gonna do one at a time. So the first name on the list, and again, this is not in any order, it's just when I happen to write it down in my phone. The first name is EPHRAIM. So I really like that name from that TV show Everwood, I think that's his name. I think that's the name of the show. It was like a long time ago. But the girl from Revenge and Chris Pratt was in that show, and I forget the name of the lead character, but that boy. The main character's name was EPHRAIM. But I didn't choose that. It's kind of popular, I guess, but so my goal was to pick something as least popular or as unique as possible. He's like looking at me. What's the next one?
ELIAM. Or ELIAN.
So ELIAM or ELIAN. I was really into E names again. I don't know why. My second kid's name starts with an E, but I just like E. I liked Liam for a really long time, especially when I was pregnant with her. But that name has exploded in popularity. So I think because of like Liam Hemsworth. So I didn't go with that, so I found this name, which was ELIAM. So it's Liam with an E in front of it, or ELIAN, and I thought that one was a nice name. What do you think about that name? ELIAM?
I don't really care.
ELIAM or ELIAN?
JEDI.
So JEDI was a name I thought of when I was, I think, pregnant with her, because I didn't find out gender with her. She's my firstborn until the 20-week ultrasound, because at that time they didn't have the Harmony test or the Panorama or the Natera test.
I don't like sitting.
What'd you say?
I don't like sitting here.
Do you want to try to sit over? Okay. So yeah. So I didn't find out if she was a boy or a girl until that 20-week ultrasound, which was quite a long wait. So I was looking for boys and girls names. Whereas with my second one, I could have found out at the 9-week blood test, which I guess I'd find out at 10 weeks, but I didn't actually do a gender reveal until I finished my first trimester. But so I found out earlier on, like half the time, so probably around 12 or 13 weeks.
Django.
So Django was a name, D-J-A-N-G-O. Django is from one of her books. Ruby Codes, like Girls Who Code or something like that. So Django, I think, is a coding language, and I just thought it was a cool name. And so there's this coding book that she has based on the character Ruby, which is Ruby on Rails, which is a type of
Ruby Adventures in Coding.
Adventures in Coding. And one of the characters' names is Django, and I thought that was a cool name, Django. But I guess for a baby, I don't know how to think about it. Okay, this video is all over the place. You trying to get on this chair.
Ellison.
Careful, don't put your foot on there.
Ellison.
Ellison is another E name. Most of these are E names. So Ellison,
Emre.
Let me think. Ellison. Where did, I don't know. I just saw it on a unique baby name.
Emre.
Emre was a name. Again, I just thought it was kind of like a cool spelling. And also, I am M. My name starts with an M. Her name, I wanted her, you know, my firstborn to have an M name. And then after that, that kind of went out the window. I wasn't stuck on any letters for my second or this one. But I did, like I said, tend to like the E names this time around for some reason. I wanted an L, like an L or an M. Those were other letters that I was considering, but I couldn't find it. So Emre, it's like it starts with an E, but it's the beginning sound starts with an M. So I thought EM something I could consider that kind of as like a pseudo M starting name. The other one I came up with was Emilio, which I didn't write down there, but I know that's kind of a common name and it reminds me of one of my parents' friends, so I didn't choose that. But I like the name Leo too, but so M for M, and then Emilio, that would kind of like combine those two things, but it's a common name and I want something that's not common. What's the next one?
Eno.
Eno or Eno. Well, I think I would say Eno, but the thing about that is, so it's E-N-N-O. The thing about that is how it goes with your last name, and I have 2 N's in my last name, so that kind of really, too many N-O, like E-N-N.
I have an N.
In the last name. So that's the next one.
ESBEN.
ESBEN. So ESBEN.
It almost smells like husband.
It sounds like, okay, so this is really funny. So she thinks it sounds like husband, right? Come closer. She thinks it sounds like husband, which I think is funny.
Oh God.
So ESBEN is from, okay, how do I say this? So when I lived in New York,
a god of
so when I lived in New York, I lived in New York City for a really long time. I used to hang out in Union Square, and there was, performers and things like that. So I was sitting there one day, like in the summer, in the hot summer, and there was this, band that was singing and making music, and I really liked them. I really liked them a lot, and for some reason, and somehow I was like, where did ESBEN come from? Actually, it wasn't ESBEN. I thought it was his name, because his name is very close to ESBEN, and I looked up that band's name, and I couldn't remember. I remember it was like a bunch of brothers, and I think they were like from, I don't know, somewhere in Scandinavia, I think. And I knew they were brothers, so I typed in like Union Square Brothers music. And the band is called Brothers Moving, and the lead singer, who I really liked, his name is ESBEN. So that's kind of where I came up with that.
It's a god of...
Oh, god of Scandinavia. Yeah, so they're from one of the countries in Scandinavia. Everest or Everett, right? Everest or Everett. I really like Everest, but I think it could be a girl's name too.
Everest is one of the Paw Patrols.
Yeah, Everest is one of the Paw Patrols, but for the girl's name, I really like the name Everly. I think Channing Tatum's daughter is, I just think that's a very pretty name, so I wanted to try to think of the boy's version's name of that, so I thought Everest would be a boy version. Everett is, I like that name, and I know one of the, like a blogger, the Daybook blog, her son's name is Everett, and I kind of just kept thinking of that, and I thought maybe that wouldn't suit, I don't know. So that's why I didn't choose Everett. Because the more I thought about it, the more I thought maybe not. And also I think it's kind of a popular name. But Everest I liked. But Everest, I think even in Paw Patrol, is a girl's name. It could be a girl's name. But I like that name.
Paw Patrol from Everest is a girl.
Yeah.
Aslan.
Aslan. So the boyfriend of a YouTuber, actually that now ex-boyfriend of the YouTuber, his name is Aslan, and I like the name. Honestly, I just like the name. So, and I think it's kind of like unique. But I think Grandma didn't like it, right? Did you have any thoughts about it, Aslan? No.
Lion.
Aslan starts with an A.
Lion.
And it means like lion. Yeah.
Bailey.
Bailey. That is, I think, becoming a common name. I think a lot of girls are called Bailey.
I have a friend called Bailey.
I have a friend whose last name is Bailey. And, you know, sometimes like the boy, you know, sometimes well, maybe it happens to girls too, but sometimes, you know, boys are called by their last name.
DECLAN.
So, I think also Bailey comes from Party of Five. Scott, is that his name? Scott. I forget his name. But his character's name was Bailey. It's a cute name. It's a unisex name, but it also made me think of my friend from high school. His last name is Bailey.
DECLAN.
DECLAN. Oh, I really like DECLAN. I've liked DECLAN for a while. Again, this DECLAN is from another movie with Amy Adams. The character's name is DECLAN, but DECLAN I think is also a pretty popular name. I think it's an Irish name. I just really like the name, but I don't think, did you guys like DECLAN? I think it's kind of a popular name, but I do really like that name. It's probably one of my favorite names.
I don't like that name.
No? How come?
I don't know.
Okay, what's the next one?
Linus.
Linus. So Linus, it could be from Peanuts, but Snoopy. Or
Snoopy.
Linus, I guess all of the stuff is like from movies or TV shows, but Linus, I thought picking a boy's name was really hard. But Linus is from the movie Sabrina with Harrison Ford and Julia Ormond and Greg Kinnear. I think his name was Linus, and I like it. And it's also from, like I said, Snoopy or Charlie Brown. And but it also, I think, is becoming more popular.
EZRA.
EZRA. Again, this is from a TV show. This is from Pretty Little Liars. But I think it sounded too biblical. I think that was the problem. Yeah.
ESMO.
What? Let me see.
Emil.
Huh?
Emil.
Oh, EMILE. EMILE. So again, that's kind of like starting with the sound M. So EMILE. EMILE. I think that was just like a name that I saw on a list that I don't really. It's not on the top of my list, but it was just something that I wrote down.
ESAI.
So ESAI. So ESAI. I thought that I think the name Psy is cool, and this was again my love of the letter E. So ESAI, that was just like, I think again a name that I saw that I thought seemed interesting.
And EMERSON.
Emerson, I think, is becoming also a very popular name. I think it can be, oh, my camera's gonna die. I think it can be both a boy's or a girl's name, Emerson. It's a surname, so like, I think it's a surname, which is a last name. Why do you have to turn
off the video?
And I do like that name, Emerson. But I didn't go with it.
NAYAN.
NAYAN. The I.
Hindi.
The I. Hindi. So NAYAN is a Hindi name. I thought I don't know, I guess I thought it was kind of cool. Nayan. Like, very soft sounding name. And I don't know, that's all I have to say about that. I don't know if it's like popular in like Hindi culture. That's all the names. But did you like the name Nayan?
I don't really know.
So we didn't choose that name. So what name did we choose?
It starts with an E.
Starts with an E. What is it?
EBEN.
EBEN. So EBEN, the background of EBEN is sometime in my second trimester, the name just popped up in my head, like EBEN. And I think what it was channeling was ESBEN, honestly, from the Brothers Moving. But even though I didn't even think about Brothers Moving, the band, until near the end of my third trimester. I mean, yeah, near, like close to the baby birth, when I was trying to like think of names. EBEN just happened to pop up in my head, and I looked it up to see if it's a name. It is a name. And it means
EBEN, as solid as a rock.
As solid as a rock. And it's a Hebrew name, because I'm tapping into my Jewish roots. But it is a name. When I looked at the popularity, it said that it had the peak popularity in the 1880s, so I thought that was good. Because like I said, I'm trying to look for a more unique name.
Is it a rare name or a common?
It's a rare name. It's supposed to be a rare name. But what's interesting is the night nurse, when I was in the maternity ward, she said her brother's middle name was EBEN. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's interesting, but I was hoping it would be less rare. But so yeah, so I know someone asked me what the name means, and I didn't choose the name for its meaning, but it does mean as solid as a rock, which I'm okay with. And
that means he's solid. He can't break.
He's solid, can't break.
Maybe. Maybe.
When I write, so it's EBEN. When I was texting people after I had the baby, you can put it down. After I had the baby, what his name is, the first response I got, which I wasn't expecting, from my boss and from my brother, was, how do you pronounce the name? EBEN. Is it like even? Does it rhyme with even? Or does it rhyme with Evan? And both of them asked me if it rhymed with Evan, and I didn't even think of it rhyming with Evan, because I'm not really a fan of the name Evan, and I think it's because I used to live in a building with a guy named Evan, and he turned out to be kind of like a psycho. So I didn't even think about that, but I thought it seemed obvious how to pronounce it, but which is why it's good to kind of like, you know, ask people what they think of the name or whatever. So it's pronounced EBEN. It's not pronounced EBEN. It's EBEN. It's short. It's only 2 syllables. My girl's name and my name are both 4 syllables. I couldn't think of a name. I couldn't think of other names that I can combine, because I think her name and her younger sister's name is kind of like a name that I made up. This is not a name that I made up, but it is a name that popped up in my head, which it kind of feels like I made it up, but it turns out that it's actually a name. And I just like the sound of it, like EBEN. Like, it sounded like, I really liked JEDI for a long time, but it sound like EBEN, I feel like sounds like a softer name and kind of like a more sensitive guy kind of name, and I think that's why I like it. And I think that's it. I'm sorry there's a lot of background noise from this one over here, but it's fun to film with her. And this guy, from my talking, is sleeping. So EBEN is his name, and and how do you like his name?
Good.
She was telling me just now, before when I was changing his diaper, that she really liked the name JEDI, and then but now she likes EBEN. And hearing my younger, when I was like, I didn't really talk to many people about this name that I was considering, but I asked, you know, I asked the family like what they thought of the name, and hearing my 2-year-old say his name when I was pregnant, it just sounded perfect. I love how Esteana says his name. He's like, and then she's like, EBEN, EBEN, and she has actually someone in her class named Evan, and I was like, oh, but it's not the same. And she's like, no, it's not the same, that's Evan. And then she's like, EBEN. She really like pronounces that B. I think that's kind of cute.
And when she says hi Evan, she does it in a high voice.
Yeah, she like talks in a high pitch. She's like,
hi Evan.
hi Evan. It's so cute. Anyway, so that is what we named it in the big name reveal, and those were some of the names that I kind of considered. None of them really. I think JEDI was the major contender, and DECLAN I would say is kind of a major contender, other than it's kind of a popular name. And I would say the second tier of contenders was probably Django. I don't know. Maybe ELIAM. I didn't want anything to sound too religious, or religious, you know, affiliated with any kind of particular religion. I'm really happy with his name. I know that there are some people who do regrets. I don't know, maybe I will have regrets later. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But I like his name, and I'm glad that she likes his name. And yeah, that's basically it. Please thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and leave me more video requests in the comments below, and subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and we will see you in our next video. Bye!